Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Give me a vortex up in the chat if I can be heard. All praises to the ever-present creator. The all and all that always was, is, and ever shall be, the mighty and great spirit, the mighty and great I am. Y'all see what time it is? Y'all tap on in, man. Hit that like button, subscribe button, share button. Y'all see the title, Malachi Macabee presents Moses is not the author of the Torah. Highly controversial, you know. And being there's a whole bunch of misfits out here want to argue authorship and compilement and, you know, redaction. And all right, we want to talk then. All right, well, y'all got a problem with Owaspi and his author. Well, y'all don't even know who the author of the Torah is. It's believed to be our brother Moses, Rabbeinu Moshe, Rabbi Moses. Huh? Most people believe today that Moses is the one that authored the first 5 books of the Bible, commonly referred to as the Torah or the Pentateuch. You feel me? Then here come a brother, here come the creative gang telling you Moses ain't write none of it. Ooh, boy, that part. I know it hit, and I know it hurt. You feel me? But if you know us, you know we gonna get on down and get it cracking. You feel me? So I see y'all in the chat. I see y'all in the building, man. Y'all get them likes up. Subscribe, share with the haters, jaw jackals, naysayers, share with everybody. Share with everybody. What the hell is Malachi talking about today? What you mean, It says the books of Moses in it. What you mean Moses didn't write it? Just tap on in with your brother for a second. I got a few hours today. I said I might as well go ahead and go on early and then finish off the rest of the work I got cracking for later on. You feel me? Shout out to the CGG Creative Gang in the building. You feel me? FGK, False God Killers. Let me go ahead and check the chat real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and roll with this. This is something I just put this together. You feel me? Last night, and I'm like, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and bring it on out. Let's go ahead and bring it on out. And if anybody got the nuts of a squirrel, they need to hop on off the porch and challenge me on it. What's up? What's up? Let's get it done. Who all we got up in the chat? I got my brother, my dirty South brethren, YAH'KI in the building. Love, light, and balance to the family, man. I got my brother Daryl Cosmine, Robert McCall, the Equalizer, Donatello of the Turtle Gang in the building. Who else we got up in here? I got my brother Bezel, the Oil Light, my brother from the A, another dirty South brethren. Much love, Elizabeth Weaver. Hey, what's going on? Selah Shalom TV in the building. We got the God, Selah Shalom. Y'all go over there, like, subscribe, share. That's the brethren. Much love. Right? Who else we got? Imai Robbie Dobson, Kanaya El Bat Ya. I see you in the building. My sister up north, gorgeously designed. The mother of my little nephew, Malaki. Much love, much love, much love. Love, light, and balance to everybody, man. HeRBal, another email of ours. You feel me? Tap in, y'all like, subscribe, and share, man. Don't be with the funny business. Like, subscribe, and share. I got my brother Fritz Foxwell in the building, the 007 of the creative game. You feel me? I see y'all in the building, man. Like, subscribe, share. I'm on a little early today, but I figure why not? Why not? I can finish the rest of the business I got cracking later on. So, you know, just to keep this ball rolling, keep everything rolling. You know, y'all know the creative gang, we highly controversial. We touch topics everybody's scared of. And whenever anybody want to debate us, they don't stay on topic. They start hitting all the, you know, the biases and the racism and the prejudices. And it's like, I know you mealy mouth misfits ain't talking. You act like who we call Europeans ain't touched Bible, ain't influenced Bible, ain't edited, redacted. You know what I mean? Bible, authorized, Bible. So let's stop acting like that, man. Eventually, look, there is no spiritual text that none of y'all reading in this earth today that a European ain't touched. If it's translated into English, French, Spanish, whatever it may be, man, you better believe it. You notice the Hotepians can't even claim that. They know about John Francis Champollion. Yeah, he was the first one to go ahead and crack what you call metal netter. It's Frenchman. You know what I mean? So we got to stop acting weak with this just because you see Europeans involved with bringing it forth. I mean, the biggest library is in the Vatican today. It don't even matter if that's some of your works or not. The Vatican got it. Those aren't Bantu Negroes from the Congo. The Vatican has the biggest library. Every religious text in this earth is up in that deal. You feel me? We were brother. You know, the Dead Sea Scrolls was dug up in the mid 1940s. And when were they released to the public? That part, the 1990s. Okay, and who released them? The Vatican. So that means even the Dead Sea Scrolls had a 50-year hiatus within the hands of the Roman Catholics or the Vatican Library. So can we stop with the play? Can we stop? Even if you believe King James was black as translators wasn't, can we stop? Can we stop with the funny business and get back to the battle of the holy books and let's just bang the information? Either the information inside of it is hidden or it's not. Right? So to us, it's disingenuous for anybody to be running their mouth as if a European ain't touched your text. And shout out to my brother Bronze. Bronze said this a couple days ago, boy, had me hollering. Bronze said, if a nigga wrote a Bible today, would none of y'all even read it? Facts. Facts. And we know a cat that wrote a Bible. What's that boy name? Called himself Father Tammuz. That one Negro that says he eats placentas. Yeah, that one crazy cat. I forgot his name. Anyway, he wrote a Bible. And damn Millie Mouth Negro went and got it. I know. See, so it's disingenuous. In the end, you got to get into the information in the book and let's see what hit. Let's see what's what. Let's see what's more powerful. You feel me? So good to see y'all in the building. Nothing but love, light, and balance to everybody, even to the haters, jaw jackers, and naysayers. You feel me? One misfit called me out yesterday, so I got another cat. Jay, y'all know who JJ is. JJ 7000. He called me out for a debate yesterday, so I told him, I'm ready now. I'm already prepared. You know what I mean? We do this. No, brother, we got to wait because I got to get my stuff together. Yeah, boy. You know what I mean? The gang already ready. We ain't got to get ready. We already ready. You know what I mean? So I told him whenever you catch up and get yourself together and you get your confidence up, you know what I mean? Come catch this fade. That's easy. You feel me? And he know it because he used to be in my classes. I ain't never watched one class of his ever in my life. You know what I mean? So yeah, it ain't nothing. We gonna get it done, and you feel me? And he gonna be made to look like the mental midget he is too. You know what I mean? Easy work. King Cooper, HVAC Chronicles. I don't know why you don't never see me at the YAH'KI events. I'm always there. I'm always there. Our next one, matter of fact, I'm finna be down in the A next month. So I gotta tap back in with my brother Selah Shalom and my brother Bezel. Bezel damn near got on my Bezel damn near got on me last. Bro, you was hurt, ain't say nothing. Yeah, so King Cooper, I don't know why you don't be seeing me. I'll be the one out there selling the oils. I got my oil table set up. I be selling all the frankincense and myrrh at the YAH'KI events. I got a table out there. I'll be right next to the table where the herbs be getting sold at. So yeah, I'll be in the building. Can I do another video on these meat eaters? Oh yeah, that ain't nothing, but just go through the channel, bro. We got plenty of that. You feel me? But yeah, I can always do something. I just took down to Zora. I can prove to him that you ain't supposed to be chewing on animal flesh. So nah, bro, I'm always there. YAH'KI, my little bro. It's my little bro. I'm proud of him too, man. The brother done did his thing, man, and touched thousands, maybe millions. He doing his thing, but that's my little bro. You feel me? I knew him when ain't none of y'all knew him. I knew him when he was chubby and still eating meat. You know what I mean? And gang banging, and that's my bro, man. Nothing but love. I know his whole family, his grandmama and them, his uncles, Uncle Tyrone, all them. I know his mama Ruby, his sisters, Candy, you know what I mean? Sierra. You feel me? I know his whole family, all his children. The boy got a tribe. They all call me Uncle Mally. So Yeah. You just gotta look a little harder, bro. I ain't hard to find. I'm gonna have to link up with you. Yeah, I was just in DC. Yep, bumped into the DC sniper, YAH'KI Mac. We was in DC, bumped into SEAL Team 144, Steve Tillman. Yeah, we was in DC. Man, I had a blast in DC, actually. Kicked it. Yeah. So no, man. Me and look, that's family. So that ain't never going nowhere. Easy work. So let me get into this. Let me show y'all a little something real quick. And then we're going to keep it going. All right. Good to see y'all in the building. And let's look at some of this real quick. I'm going to look at a few minutes of this. And then we're going to get into this presentation. All right. We're going to get into this presentation. All right. So let me share this with y'all. Bring the appetizer out. Warning. Deity danger. Warning. This is for entertainment. Fair use. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Can you do a video on the COVID shots? Yeah, man. Stay away from all that madness. Easy work. All right. So let me share this real quick. Present. Share screen. All right. Let's let y'all know this ain't just... That's Malaki just making things up. That's what y'all like to believe. You feel me? But nah, that ain't the case. Let's look at some of this real quick.
So the first 5 books of the Bible are Genesis, which covers the creation of the world and the lives of the ancestors of Israel. Then Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, which concern the life of the prophet Moses, his leadership of the Israelites, and the laws revealed to him by God. Together, these books are known as the Torah, meaning the law in Hebrew. Though in this video, I'm going to call it by its other common name, the Pentateuch, which is just Greek for 5 books. The Pentateuch is traditionally believed to have been written entirely by Moses himself under God's guidance. However, there are some issues to this idea. There are a number of passages.
There are some issues to this idea. Originally, everybody thought Moses wrote this under the divine unction of God. Huh? And most people today was a cat on side metal after Sela did an excellent presentation on European authorship and influence and empowerment of the Bible and all that. Excellent breakdown. It was a young cat on there who really don't know until he's young, and he just got into this Israelite thing probably a couple years ago. You feel me? And he kept saying Moses wrote the Torah. I'm like, if he don't know in 2024 that Moses did not write the Torah, then you ain't like, you need to go sit down, bro, do some more studying. You know what I mean? Everybody know Moses didn't write the Torah. Everyone. Watch this.
In the Pentateuch which suggest it was composed after the death of Moses, most notably Deuteronomy 34:5, which describes the death of Moses. On top of that,
right, so Moses, the servant of Yahweh, died. You telling me Moses wrote that? That's like me writing, and Malaki, the servant of Yahweh, died in the land of Moab, according to Yahweh's word. How the hell is Moses writing about his death? You dig? How is he writing about him dying before he died or after he died? How is he writing about him dying, after he died? So Moses, the servant of Yahweh, died. That means it already happened. So who's writing that? If he's dead, who's writing that? That part. Watch it.
There are other narrative quirks throughout each book that put the whole idea of a single author into question. There are several doublets, that is, a piece of information or story provided twice in the same.
Y'all write that down. Doublets. Doublets, triplets, all of it is in the Torah. What is a doublet? Instances where the Torah provides the same information twice. You want to say, oh, brother, that's just a precept. Oh, no, quite contrary. Oh, no, we're going to get some examples today. No. It's a story being told opposite of the other one. You feel me? Like 2 creation stories type. You feel me? 2 different flood stories. That type. To where you would say, oh, one is a summary of the other. No, not when you dive down and start looking at the particulars. No, it's not. Watch this.
text, often with differing details. In Genesis chapters 12 and 20, we see two stories where Abraham visits a foreign country and tells everyone that his wife Sarah is actually his sister. The king sees Sarah, says boyoyoyoing arf 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 awuga, and tries to take her as a wife. But then God exposes Abraham's lie before the false marriage can be consummated. This story even repeats a third time in chapter 26 with Abraham's son Isaac and his wife Rebekah. Another doublet in Genesis is the story of how Jacob's name was changed to Israel. In chapter 32, Jacob, on his way to reunite with Esau, wrestles with an angel. Or maybe it was God, I don't know. After successfully pinning down his opponent, the divine being renamed.
Y'all hear this? Most don't understand. In that wrestling match, Jacob won it. Reread the story. Jacob actually won the wrestling match against his God, right? And the God is the God of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob beat up his own God. He got wounded. You know, he limped after that. But it says you have found power with God and man and has what? Prevail. Prevail means you won. Jacob actually beat up his God. And whoever he was wrestling was an angel / man. So is God a man? Is God a one-time man? Is God considered an angel just with a higher rank? But however you look at it, Jacob won the fight. Most don't even slow down and read the Torah enough to even tell you that, or they can't even be real with themselves and tell you he did win that. But damn, if he beat up his God, how is you telling me that's the creator? And how is you trying to get me to worship who he beat up?
Him Israel. But then in chapter 35, after Jacob brings his household to Bethel, God visits him and once again renames him Israel. In addition to
doublets. Which one was it? Was he named Israel in Genesis 32 after the wrestling match, or was it in Genesis 35? Which one? Watch this.
Redundancies in the form of doublets, there are also just flat-out contradictions. In Genesis 6, God tells Noah, quote, "Of every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ship to keep them alive with you. Of the birds after their kind, of the livestock after their kind, of every creeping thing on the ground after its kind. 2 of every sort will come to you to keep them alive." But then in chapter 7, Noah gets different instructions. Quote, "You shall take 7 pairs of every clean animal with you, the male and his female. Of the animals that are not clean, take 2, the male and his female. Also of all the birds of the sky, 7 and 7, male and female, to keep seed alive on the surface of all the earth." This is not an exhaustive list of all the issues. I'm actually burying the lead on a couple more big ones in Genesis. But I hope it effectively shows that the Pentateuch is a problematic text if you try to read it as the work of a single author.
The Pentateuch or the Torah is problematic if you're trying to read it as the work of a single author. In most people's cases, Moses. Rabbeinu Moshe. No, there are several. They don't know who the authors are. Here you go, mad and talking crazy about YHWH'S because of its compiler, who it came through. Yeah, he didn't even read it after it came through him. You know what I mean? So y'all making this big old fuss about JB, and y'all don't even know who wrote the Torah. You don't even know. You don't even know. Watch this.
Theologians have been well aware of this problem for literally thousands of years, and they've had to find ways of reconciling this with their beliefs regarding the authorship and authority of the Bible. However, in the wake of the European Enlightenment, many biblical scholars began to reject divinely inspired Mosaic authorship as a given, and instead turned to source criticism. Through analyzing the conflicting narrative threads within the text, a consensus emerged that the Pentateuch was actually the work of multiple authors.
The Torah is the work of multiple authors. Not our dear brother Moses. Yeah, I remember I used to make my children, not make them, I used to let them watch that cartoon, The Prince of Egypt. Man, oh man, boy, when Pharaoh used to say Moses, he should be like, Moses, my brother Moses. Man, Holland, watch this.
Recording versions of traditional legends from their time and place. These authors' works would later be compiled by a third party into the Pentateuch as it exists now. The most prominent model for the composition of the Pentateuch is that of the documentary hypothesis, which identifies 4 distinct voices throughout the text.
Okay, that's what we're going over today, y'all. Documentary hypothesis. All right, this is important. This is important. And I know a lot of people be like, well, oh, brother, I don't agree with that, or it's people coming against it. No matter what you stand on and come out with, there's always going to be opposition. You feel me? But remember, the documentary hypothesis was made famous by a German scholar in the 1800s, right? How about I go all the way back 2,000 years to the Nazarene Acts and show you that they was the disciples of Yahshua was under no illusions that Moses wrote the Torah. They knew he didn't write it. So the information, even though I'm bringing this out from the 1800s, dealing with a German scholar, what I'm about to show y'all today goes all the way back 2,000 years ago, 1st century, 2nd century. And it was a lot of people who understood the Torah that they had in their day. Moses didn't even pen that. Moses didn't even pen that. Watch this.
Each with their own narrative threads and other stylistic and thematic features which distinguish them from one another. There's the Yahwist source, known as J, named after its prominent use of God's personal name, Yahweh.
I heard that. So J-E-P-D. The first source is the J source of the Torah. All right. They call it the J or the Y, the Yahweh source. You get the name Yahweh from. Watch this.
Which was spelled with a J by the German scholars who identified the source, hence J instead of Y. The Elohist source, known as E, which in contrast favors the more generic term Elohim when referring to God. The name Yahweh doesn't show up in the E source until it's revealed to Moses in Exodus 3. The priestly source, known as P, named for its emphasis on ritual practices, the origins of religious sites, the genealogies of important figures, you know, stuff a priest would care about.
Yeah, the entire book of Leviticus. All the burnt offerings and the chopped off goat heads and the chopped off legs and snatched out your organs with the sprinkling of the blood. All that's in the P source, the priest. The entire book of Leviticus. Watch this.
P-text is most prominent in sections of the Pentateuch concerning these subjects. And lastly, the Deuteronomist source known as D, which is only found in Deuteronomy and makes up the vast majority of that book, if not all of it. These sources can be most easily identified in sections with the most glaring contradictions, of which I will now present 2 examples from Genesis. Hold on.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. All right, so let's jump into this. We'll come back to that. Let me go ahead and bring up this doc. You know what I mean? And we gonna roll with it, man. We gonna roll with it. Let me share this tab right here. Let's get into it. All right. I know we got the creative juices turning thus far. Scholars been figured out that Moses did not write the Torah and that the Torah is not a work of a single author. Too many contradictions, too many doublets. You know what I mean? If you after you look at this, if you still hold on to the fact that Moses wrote the Torah, you're delusional. You know what I mean? You're delusional. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. All right. Shout out to my brothers in the chat, my sisters in the chat, Cosmon Kyle, FGK Capone, Keon Cooper, Primordial Cosmic Energy, my brother. I see y'all in the building, man. Love, light, and Cosmon, everybody. All right, y'all can see that. Let me blow it up a little taste, just in case my elder brother, Nakam Yama Barak, is looking. Hey, Mally, blow it up. I can't see it, Mally. I got you, elder. We all good around these parts. All right, y'all go over there and like, subscribe, and share. Let's get her done. All right, so Malachi Macabee presents Moses is not the author of the Torah. So I'm coming straight out. Whoever wants smoke behind it, get lined up for this fade. Whoever don't like what I'm saying, little oil of Olay, Zion Lex, and whoever any of his flunkies or his students are, Gravel Mouth Dawood. Yeah. You feeling froggy jump? I'm saying right now in front of everybody, Moses didn't write the Torah that you have today. Yep. And if I'm lying, call me on it. Yeah, that part. The JJs and all them. That Millie Mouth Negro want to debate. I'm about to smoke him. That's going to be easy. Anyway, Moses is not the author of the Torah, the documentary hypothesis, and the compiling of the Torah. All praises to the ever-present creator of all creation, that always was, is, and ever shall be, the mighty and great I am. Many have wondered and asked themselves about how the Torah was compiled. Was Moses the author, or was it compiled, edited, and redacted centuries later by several scribes? In this presentation, I will dive into several sources that prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that Moses, Rabbeinu Moshe, that Moses is not the author of the Torah, The Torah we have today is the byproduct of several scribes and authors from different time periods, different perspectives, and under different authorities. Take notes, classes in session. The documentary hypothesis, Julius Wellhausen, 844 to 1918. The sources, right? Dayton, and that is not a Bantu Negro from the Congo. Source. Now, who is Julius Wellhausen? Born May 17th, 1844, died January 7th, 1918, was a German biblical scholar and Orientalist. He studied stuff back east. In the course of his career, his research interests moved from Old Testament research through Islamic studies to New Testament scholarship. You gotta check that one out too. Wellhausen contributed to the composition history of the Pentateuch/Torah and studied the formative period of Islam. For the former, he is credited as one of the originators of the documentary hypothesis. We about to get into this today. You ain't gonna be up under no, when you get up out here today, you ain't gonna be under no illusions about what it is. They don't know who wrote the Torah. You don't know if a pedophile wrote it. You don't know if somebody like laying with greased up midgets wrote it. You don't know if somebody that's into laying with animals, or you don't know. Nobody knows. Look at this. Wellhausen was born. Wellhausen was born in Hamelin in the Kingdom of Hanover, the son of a Protestant pastor. He later studied theology at the University of Göttingen under George Heinrich August Ewald and became, what is that, Privat Docent for Old Testament history there in 1870. In 1872, he was appointed professor ordinarius of theology at the University of Greifswald. However, he resigned from the faculty in 1882. Look at that. Y'all know what that is. You read YHWH's, you know about that year. He resigns the very year YHWH's published. Written in 1881, published in 1882. That's crazy. Look at this. He resigned from the faculty in 1882 for reasons of conscience, stating in his letter of resignation, I became a theologian. This is what he's saying. I became a theologian because the scientific treatment of the Bible interested me. Only gradually did I come to understand that a professor of theology also has the practical task of preparing the students for service in not the Catholic Church, but the Protestant Church. Really? Went to your seminaries and professors of theology, and you see he resigned. He like, dang, I'm supposed to be prepping y'all for service in the Protestant Church, and that I am not adequate to this practical task. He's like, I can't raise y'all up to be servants to the Protestant based off what I know. Oh no. But that instead, despite all caution on my own part, I make my hearers unfit for their office. He like, the information I'm bringing out, there's no way in the world you'll be willing to be a servant in the Protestant Church. I make my hearers unfit for their office. Since then, my theological professorship has been weighing heavily on my conscience. He became professor of extraordinarius of Oriental languages in the faculty of philology at Hale, was elected professor ordinarius at Marburg in 1885, and was transferred to Göttingen in 1892, where he stayed until his death. Among theologians and biblical scholars, he is best known for his book, Prolegomena to the History of Israel. His work in Arabic studies, specifically the magisterial work entitled The Arab Kingdom and Its Fall. Had to check that out. Remains celebrated as well. After a detailed synthesis of existing views on the origins of the first 5 books of the Bible, Wellhausen aimed at placing the development of these books into a historical and social context. The resulting argument, called the documentary hypothesis, became the dominant model for many biblical scholars and remains so for the most part of the 20th century. Dang, we late, ain't we? According to Alan Levinson, Wellhausen considered theological anti-Judaism as well as anti-Semitism to be normative. So, of course, the Zionists and all them don't like dude, because he said it's normal to be anti-Semitic and all that. Dang, look at it. Wellhausen was famous for his critical investigations into Old Testament history and the composition of the Hexateuch. What's the Hexateuch, y'all? Well, if the Pentateuch is the first 5 books of the Bible, the Hexateuch is the first 6. So it would be Genesis to Deuteronomy and include Joshua. And and include Joshua. He's perhaps best known for his Proglamina Zerd Gesichi Israel's 1883, first published in 1878, in which he advanced a definitive formulation of the documentary hypothesis. It argues that the Torah had its origins in a redaction. Look at this. Look at this. The Torah had its origins in a redaction of 4 originally independent texts dating from several centuries after the time of Moses. Dating from several centuries after the time of Moses, their traditional author. Bag drop, boy. What are we even talking about? Dang, look at this. Wellhausen's hypothesis remained the dominant model for Pentateuchal studies until the last quarter of the 20th century. So all the way up to what, 1975, when it began to be advanced by other biblical scholars. Who saw more and more hands at work in the Torah. They like, look, he kicked it off and seemed like 4, but we see more hands at work in the Torah, and ascribed them to periods even later than Wellhausen had proposed. So you're going to find people who disagree with what he's talking about, scholars and all that. What they disagree about is not the fact that Moses wrote it or not. They know he didn't write it. They disagree about the dating. You feel me? The dating. They pushing the date of the Torah even further away from Moses than Wellhausen is. But naturally, those that come after you, dealing with better resources, more information, they're able to go ahead and, and improve on what it is you brought forth. All right. The emergence of conflicting answers, which by statistics displays certain similarities, is better known empirically as spurious results. Regarding his sources, Wellhausen described Wilhelm de Wet as the epoch-making opener of the historical criticism of the Pentateuch. In 1806, de Wet provided an early coherent mapping of the Old Testament writings of the J, E, D, and P. J is the Yahweh portion of the Torah, E is the Elohist, D is Deuteronomy, and P is the priest or the Leviticus, right? Writings of the J, E, D, and P authors. He was so far ahead of his time, however, that he was soon cast out of his university post. Young Julius Wellhausen largely continued the work of de Wet and transformed those studies into historical monuments. All right. And dude was a doctor. So we're dealing with a PhD here. All right. We're not dealing with just, goofies. All right. What basically is this based off of? Documentary hypothesis, duplication and repetition of material. All right. 2, variation in the ways of referring to God. 3, contrasting author perspectives. 4, variation in vocabulary and literary style. 5, evidence of editorial activity. All right. So here, we like to put everything on the timeline. All right. Writing of the Torah. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Documentary hypothesis, or the Graf Wellhausen hypothesis. Now, if y'all look down here in this left corner, Moses is all the way over here, 1400 BC. All right. Joshua. All right. We don't get the first document of the Torah until around the time of David and Solomon. Y'all see that J right there? He is in bold letters. Let's go straight down. What time is that? Y'all, that's around the 900s, late 800s. Moses lived 600 years earlier, 700 years earlier. But the first writings of the Torah don't come down to 700 years later. Northern tradition, written. That's the J document. All right. What's the next document of the Torah? The E document, the Elohist. All right, let's go straight down. When was that written? That was written around 700 BCE, before the Common Era. All right, J and E were combined. Southern traditions. Then you get to your matter of fact, the Deuteronomy sources around the time of Josiah, 600. But look when Leviticus and all that was added. Look at this. Y'all see that dark line right there? Let's go straight down. Leviticus wasn't added to around the exile, coming out of captivity. So the laws of Leviticus that everybody think was happening while we was in the wilderness and sacrificing, all these things are written down way after the fact. They weren't writing it down as they were going through it. These things are written down way after the fact. You feel me? So nah, Moses couldn't have wrote no part of it if the last part of the Torah was completed 900 to 1,000 years after he was alive. The first part of the Torah was completed 700 years after he was alive. What we really talking about? Let's get into it. The documentary hypothesis. What is it? The documentary hypothesis is a theory that challenges the authorship of the Pentateuch by Moses. It asserts many authors wrote the first 5 books of the Bible and did so many years after the events took place. Many authors wrote it, and they wrote it many years after the events took place. Look at this. The theory was first asserted by a priest named H.B. Witter, who noticed that 2 distinct names for God, Elohim and Yahweh, were used throughout the book of Genesis. A French physician named John Astrud published a work on the same theory. But the one who provided the most force to the theory was Julius Wellhausen, who divided the Torah up into 4 distinct sections, J-E-D-P. All right. Some more understanding on what we're looking at. So we don't be up under no illusions. Documentary source hypothesis of the Pentateuch. YHWH'S, that's the J source. The creator is called Lord God, translated as Yahweh. This source focuses on the relationship of God and man. The P source, or the priestly. The creator is called El Shaddai. And this source focuses on the law, genealogies, and rituals. The Elohist, or the E source, the creator is called Elohim, and this source focuses on the grandeur and omnipotence of God. Deuteronomic redactor, D source, thought to have been composed during when? The exile. This source recapitulates the teachings and traditions of Moses. All right. The documentary hypothesis applies only to the Torah. All right, JEPD, separate sources combined by editors or redactors. Who's doing that? The name of the sources. YHWH'S, Genesis 1, early simple style. Elohist, Genesis 2 through 3, late high style. Deuteronomist, focus on law. Priestly source, Leviticus, focus on rituals. All right. Deuteronomy hypothesis called J because Yahweh is spelled with J in German. This source calls God Yahweh. Believe the date to the end of David's reign or to the period of Solomon. Y'all, that's like, what is that? 700 years after Moses. Okay, look at it. The J document, written about 850 BC by an unknown writer. By who? By an unknown writer. They don't know who wrote the Torah, but it wasn't Moses. Written about 850 BC by an unknown writer in the southern kingdom of Judah. Uses Yahweh for God, often refers to God anthropomorphically, makes up about half of Genesis. The first half of Exodus and some parts of Numbers. Keep scrolling. The Elohist, called E because this source calls God Elohim, believed the date to the reign of Omri and Ahab. Really? All right, the E document, written about when? 750 BC. Moses lived back during 1553 BC. All right, written about 750. So y'all, we dealing 700 some years later. What you mean he wrote this? Written about 750 BC by an unknown writer. By an unknown writer in the northern kingdom of Israel. Dwells on concrete particulars, is interested in ritual worship. God communicates through dreams rather than walking and talking with man. Uses Elohim for God up to Exodus 3 and 15. Makes up about a third of Genesis, half of Exodus, and some portions of Numbers. Let's keep scrolling. Documentary hypothesis. The priestly writer, called P, because this source is influenced by priestly concerns, believed the date to 550 BC during the middle of the Babylonian exile. Look at that Judite priest. Scroll. Or a priest out the kingdom of Judah with a scroll. The documentary hypothesis, the P document, composed in various stages, all the way from Ezekiel, who didn't live nowhere near Moses, all the way from Ezekiel with his holiness code, Leviticus 17 through 26, circa 570 BC to Ezra. P is concerned with a systematic account of the origins and institutions of the Israelite theocracy. It shows a particular interest in origins and genealogical lists and details of sacrifice and ritual. makes up a fifth of Genesis, large portions of Exodus and Numbers, and nearly all of Leviticus. All of Leviticus uses Elohim for God up to Exodus 6, 2-3. All right, the Deuteronomy is called D because this source is characterized by the language and style of the book of Deuteronomy, believed to date to the reign of Josiah and later. The D document, composed possibly under the direction of the high priest Hilkiah as an official program for the party of reform sponsored by King Josiah in the revival of 621 BC. Y'all, if Moses lived on 1500 BC, he ain't writing none of this. You dealing with what, from 700 years after Moses all the way up to 1,000 years after Moses. It was done to force people to stop worshiping in high places and worship only in Jerusalem. Contains almost all of Deuteronomy and also Joshua, Judges, Samuel, and Kings. So we even look, that document go past the Torah. Uses Yahweh for God. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. So y'all see more dates on it. The J source, 9th century BC. Elohist source, 8th century BC. Deuteronomy source, 7th to 6th century BCE. And the priestly or peace source, 6th to 5th century BCE. Simply put, the documentary hypothesis claims that the Torah has several authors and scribes, which is in contrast to the traditional view of Moses being the sole author under divine unction. Oh, wee. Let's look at this right here. I got something for y'all. Let's look at this. A couple minutes of it. Get up off this slab. Y'all already know what time it is. Stuff easy work, man. Easy work. This is real quick. It's like a 2 minute.
The 4 traditions within the Pentateuch. Mosaic tradition. The origin of the Torah's foundations from Moses can be seen. The 4 traditions within the Pentateuch. Mosaic tradition. The origin of the Torah's foundations from Moses can be seen in the essential unity of both the Torah's narrative and legislative parts. Yet, in the particulars, in style, and in ways of elaborating on a theme within the Pentateuch, several variations can be traced. For example, A. The stories about the creation in Genesis chapters 1 through 2, while united in spirit, are quite different in character. So, for instance, in Genesis chapter 1, plants and animals are created first and man last. According to Genesis chapter 2, though, when man came about, there had not been plants yet, and the animals were created after man was. B.
That's major because we seen these contradictions years ago, and we used to explain them away as if Genesis chapter 2 is just a summary of Genesis chapter 1. No, it ain't a summary, right? It's 2 different creation stories by 2 separate authors.
Genesis chapter 4, verses 25 through 26 is a narrative about the birth of Seth, but Genesis chapter 5, verse 3 speaks about the birth of Seth for the first time, as it were. C. As it follows from Genesis chapter 4, verse 17, Enoch is the son of Cain, but in Genesis chapter 5, verse 18, Enoch is said to be the son of Jared, which makes him the 10th generation after Adam. D. Genesis chapter 7, verse 17 tells us that the flood took place for 40 days, but in Genesis chapter 7, verse 24, 150 days.
Facts.
Such variations, which appear throughout the Torah, have made it possible to single out 4 trends which are intertwined together to form a single whole within the sacred narrative. The popular name for understanding the collection of these trends is the documentary hypothesis. Julius Wellhausen, a 19th century German scholar, is considered to be an important progenitor of this documentary hypothesis. His theory assumed that in the Pentateuch, there initially had been 4 separate coherent narratives that emerged at different times.
Y'all see that? Look at that. Look at that. Don't worry, we're going to go into the Bible and show you. There's no way Moses could have wrote that unless he crazy as all hell, unless he don't know his own story that he writing. Look at this. Look at this. The Torah came about centuries apart. It was something gradually pieced together. You know what I mean? Way after Moses had been around and dead. Moses had lived, died, and damn near a whole millennium went by before the last piece of the Torah was even put into the Torah, added to the Torah, which is the Leviticus and the laws of sacrifice and all that. Look at this.
Times and in different circles. Wellhausen believed these narratives were the processing of a single tradition of the Old Testament community of the faithful that traced back to Moses and pre-Mosaic times. Theologically, such a collective structure of the Pentateuch may have to do with the tendency towards an all-round revealing of a God-inspired truth.
Ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Let me put that in the chat for y'all so y'all can have that. Something real quick. That's what people gonna be like, Malaki, you're making this stuff up, Mally. You know what I mean? Love, light, and balance, family. Y'all know what time it is, man. All right, let me get back to this. Let me get back to this. I just want to share that with y'all real quick. All right. Now, let's see what Jeremiah, the prophet, has to say about any of this. The prophet Jeremiah uttered these same truths, yo. Uttered these same truths. You feel me? Jeremiah 8:8 KJV. How do you say we are wise and the law or the Torah? The law or the Torah? The law or the Torah of Yahweh is with us. Most certainly in vain made he it. Made he what? The law, the Torah. The pen of the scribes is in vain. You feel me? For the longest we would say that the pen of the scribes is in vain because the people are not listening. So they're writing for nothing. No, the vain means a lie. When you look vain up in Hebrew, it's shakor. It means a lie, deception. Look at this. Let's look at it. Jeremiah 8:8 in a different version, the New and Living Translation. Look what it says. Same verse. This is a different translation. How can you say we are wise because we have the Torah of Yahweh when your teachers, your scribes have twisted it by writing lies? What are we talking about here? What is we even talking about? Here you go by radio. Oh, I just living down the HICKMAN. That's for you pig Latin Hebrew speaking Negroes who feel ain't no vowels in the language. So instead of saying the Torah, they say HICKMAN. Well, since you think this is so holy, you understand? Jeremiah the prophet is telling you that there are lies in what you call the Torah, the very thing you willing to die for. Huh? Elder Tiny Gun. Some of the new Torah movement. Boy, if you don't go sit your goofy ass down somewhere, y'all looking stupid out here. Look at this. This is the Jeremiah 8:8 in the NET. Look at this. How can you say we are wise? We have the law, the Torah of Yahweh. The truth is, those who teach it, the scribes, those who teach it, have used their writings to make it say what it does not really mean. The hell is wrong with y'all? I want the Torah, and then now you're rolling your reshes now, like that. I ain't even gonna shout it, man. But you roll, ruach, rofenu, and then you choke on your kit. The kasid. Y'all don't even talk like that. Little Oil of Olay had a cat on his show yesterday, you know, and he was trying to impress him by talking Hebrew, you know what I mean? It's just like when a cat find out that he's into Islam and all that, and he learned a little bit of Arabic, he started talking like an Arab. Muhaddin, the Muhaddin. It's the same with these mealy mouth misfits that learn a little Hebrew. They start talking like Jaime and them. You know what I mean? They roll the R's, the reshes, rofinu, ruach, and they choke on the K's, the kets, the kasid. Y'all don't even talk like that. And the crazy part about it is, it's telling you that the scribes of the Torah, Jeremiah said, not Malaki, Macabee, Jeremiah the prophet, take it up with him. And he was a Levitical priest. His father was a Levite. He telling you that the Torah How can you say we are wise? We had a Torah of Yahweh. The truth is, this is the truth, and I love to be the bearer of bad news. I love it. The truth is, those who teach it have used their writings. Those who teach what? The Torah have used their writings to make it say what it does not really mean. And y'all got the nerve to think y'all coming at us about this. Talking about our book and who authored it, and y'all don't even know who wrote Torah. And if you in 2024 believe in Rabbeinu Moshe, if you believe Moses wrote the Torah, you are severely behind. As we see, the prophet Jeremiah admitted that the scribes who wrote out the Torah, or the law of biblical God, interjected lies into it. That's what he said. I ain't said, he said it. That the scribes who wrote out the Torah, the law of biblical God, interjected lies into it. Whenever we bring out this obvious truth, most people fall into denial mode and start asking, who are these false scribes? Take notes. Take notes. Class is in session. Take notes. So you want to know, well, who are the scribes, brother? Watch this. Source OSP, headshot, body blow, finish him. Look at this. OSP, a primary for the spiritual and practical enlightenment and development of individuals, groups, and humanity, for their glory and happiness, and for the glory of the whole, in the words of the Creator and his angel ambassador. So that's what this source is. Now, this is about Moses coming out OSP. All right, the Ark of Bond, chapter 20, 17 through 18 and 21. Pharaoh's scribes and recorders assembled in Kaona, and they appointed Phayah, an Egyptian, to write the departure of the Israelites out of Egypt. So we got Phayah, that's one scribe. And Phayah wrote the account and called it the Exodus of the Hebrews. And it was recorded in the king's house of records. And copies of it were sent to the large cities, and they're recorded also. For such was the law of Egypt. Phayah's record was afterward accepted by who? Ezra. There go your boy. We're going to end this presentation with Ezra. There he is right there. Record was afterward accepted by Ezra and is that which is known to this day as the first book of Exodus. Boy, y'all don't even know what y'all reading. Look at this. The book of Genesis, as it stood in the Egyptian records, was written by Akaboth. There go another one. We got Phayah, we got Akaboth, and Duram, another one. And Hazed, another scribe. Because y'all, well, if the scribes are false, who were they? You ain't got no answer. Oh, we got an answer. We got an answer. We gonna call them by name. Phayah, Akaboth, Duram, and Hazed. And was the substance from which Ezra copied it through his scribes. Even as it is this day. The inspiration of Genesis was from the god Osiris the false. Good night, boy. Good night. The little spandex god, the green nigga in Egypt. And his emissaries, chief of whom were Yoruba and Egypt. Egypt actually was an angel of Osiris before it was named a country. Ain't that crazy? Who were angel servants to Osiris. And so far as the records now stand, the spirit of both books, Genesis and Exodus, was the Egyptian virgin of the whole subject. Bag drop, boy. Don't ever ask me who the scribes are. I'm going to take you right there and show you. And behold, it came to pass that the records were worthless. What? The records were worthless. And to make matters worse, the records were so voluminous. I mean, it was too much to copy out. Being more than 6,000 books, that the scribes of Ezra could make neither head nor tail of them. Nevertheless, they were all written in the first place, not by the Israelites. Not by the Israelites, but by their enemies. That part. I know. Now let's look at the Nazarene Acts of the Apostles. So we're going to deal with a biblical friendly book then. I know a lot of y'all are scared of OSP. You don't want to deal with it. Well, it's written in the late 1800s. Well, I'm going to take you back to the first century. And let's see if the disciples of Yahshua, let's see if they were under any illusions that Moses wrote the Torah then. And if they were under that illusion then, what the hell make you think you got it now? Let's look at the Nazarene Acts of the Apostles. Did the disciples of Yeshua think and believe the Torah that they had was authored by Moses or someone else? Somebody better tell these young boys that I do's this, boy. Created gang in the building. What you talking about? We do's this. You know what I mean? I be watching some of y'all stuff, man. Be falling asleep. It be so dry. You know what I mean? It be a whole bunch of stuttering and scratching and yawning. It's like, what is you even talking about? You don't look. In order to convince us, you gotta sound like you know what you're talking about, man. You know what I mean? Most y'all, the way y'all talk about what y'all quote unquote believe, it ain't even believable. You feel me? Like you ain't even convincing nobody with that dry eye spirit. Dry eyes. Source, Nazarene Acts of the Apostles, or the Recognitions of Clinton, page 271. And this is Simon Peter. This is Peter. This is Peter, a disciple of Yeshua, according to the biblical narrative, right? Now look what he says about the corruption of the Torah. Look at this. And it's crazy because Jeremiah, who lived before Peter, was saying the same thing. The scribes that got it putting into it lies. For the scriptures have had joined, this is what Peter is saying. For the scriptures have had joined to them many lies, many falsehoods against Elohim on this account. The prophet Moses, by the order of Elohim, delivered the Torah with the explanations to 70 chosen men, in order that they also might instruct such of the people as they choose. After some time, the written Torah had added to it certain falsehoods. Contrary to the Torah of Elohim. So the Torah of Elohim is more oral. See the difference between the Torah of the Creator and the Torah of men, the written Torah. All you gotta do is slow down. My brother Roddy Rod, ugly blood, my brother. What's going on, Rod? And my St. Louis brethren right there, boy. Yeah. He say it says that in Owaspy. Rod, you know I've been dropped the Waspy on the bros, man. You know, you just got to get into it and read it, bro. You're gonna love it. It's a beautiful read, man. It's a beautiful read. Yeah, right. It names the scribes. Yes. Tap in with your family, bro. You look, you know me, so you know I ain't on that evil and wicked. Tap in with your family around here, bro. You know what I mean? Easy work. Yes, it says it names the scribes that Jeremiah say is false. It names them. It says after some time the written Torah had added to it certain falsehoods contrary to the Torah Elohim. So there's a Torah of Elohim and there's a Torah of and there's a written Torah. There's a Torah of the Creator and there's a Torah that's written. There's a difference. Who made the heavens and the earth and all things in them? The evil one having dared to work this for his evil purpose. So you're dealing with false gods. Peter knew it was false deities playing around, masquerading, pump faking like they created. Today you got a Negro in 2024 ready to crash out over the law of God. The written Torah. Nigga, you was crazy. We ain't playing no games. Look at this right here. This took place in reason and judgment that those might be convicted who should dare to listen to the things written against the Creator Most High. That's in there. That's in there to test you, right? See, in Creator gang, we already know whatever we read. If we read and it says, oh, and God said, sacrifice your son as a burnt offering, we know good and well before you even finish the sentence and arrive at your period. We already know hell to the no, that ain't the Creator. The Creator don't ask for you to kill nothing that he made alive. You see? So even Peter is saying this took place, the false stuff in the Torah was corrupted, and this took place in reason and judgment that those might be convicted who should dare listen to the things written against the Creator. And those who, through love towards him, should not only disbelieve the things spoken against him, but should not even endure to hear them at all. Nobody want to hear none of that. And we ask every last one of y'all, would you kill your child? And hell yeah. God said it. Look what Peter is saying. Should not only disbelieve the things spoken against him, but should not even endure to hear them at all. Hell wrong with y'all. But we the ones in darkness. Huh? Look at this. Even if they should happen to be true, judging it much safer. He said, even if it is true, I'm not believing that about my maker. That's my mindset. I don't give a hell if it is true. If evil is written about the creator, I ain't rocking with it. And to me, it don't matter where it's written at. It could be written in Bible, Quran, or WASP, wherever. If it's evil shit written about creator, I ain't dealing with it. So ain't no spirit coming to me telling me to kill my child or any child, because I'm a swift kick him in his spiritual ass. Get your ass about her. The creator commanded us not to kill. How dare I kill whatever he made alive? I answer like Big Bro Brahma did. My children are the creators. How dare I take away that which is not mine? Look what Peter say, judging it much safer to incur danger with respect to religious faith than to live with an evil conscience on account of blasphemous words. That's our mindset. But hell, where is written that? You tell me the creator say, go lay with 12 greased up midgets and have your way with them. That ain't the creator talking to you niggas. Y'all don't know how to tell the difference between the creator and a false god. It's time to tap on in, and most don't. That's why they saying, hell yeah, I'll kill my child if God told me to. You don't even know what you've been entertaining. Page 292, Nazarene Acts of the Apostles, headshot. Look at this. Before knowledge of Moses. This said Kepha. Kepha is Peter. The Torah Elohim was given by Moses without writing. Do y'all see this? Right? What the creator taught Moses, and you can pick that up in the WASP, y'all. You'll really get a deep, detailed understanding of what Moses was teaching. And then what Yahshua was teaching, because he restored the ancient doctrine of Moses. You know what I mean? Peter told you 2,000 years ago, man, hey, the instructions of the creator was given to Moses without writing. Without writing. Without writing. So who wrote your written Torah? And remind you, all this was out way before Julius Wellhausen, way before documentary hypothesis in the 1800s, in the 1700s. This is Peter from 2,000 years ago. See, so that makes the documentary hypothesis in our eyes more believable. That makes sense. That makes sense because based off the Nazarene scene literature, Moses didn't write the Torah at all. If y'all get some understanding, throw me a 9 up in the chat, man. You know what I mean? Create a gang in the building, man. You bring them, we raise them. Give me a 9 up in the chat, man. Let me check the chat for a minute, interact a little tape. Look at my brother Roddy Rod. Hey, Rod, you already. Hey, Rod, you know what's up, bro. It's my bro right there, boy. We've been through many. Hey, let them know, Rod. We done been through the ups and downs, ain't we, big dog? Shit. Yes, sir. I'm getting 9s in this deal. Iris Stevens in the house. My sister from Texas. Well, my sister from St. Louis, but they live in Texas. Good to see you, sis. What's the word? Tell your moms, I say, what it do? Your mama crazy as hell. She cool, though, man. Blessings. Love, light, and balance to everybody, man. My brother Marcus Israel, Omaha, Nebraska. That boy put them tips on you, boy. Salute, salute. I see y'all in the building, man. Elohim, Emmanuel, salute. Salute was the word. Okay, so this is what Peter's saying 2,000 years ago. The Torah of Elohim was given by Moses without writing. That means it was spoken, y'all, to 70 wise men to be handed down so that the government might be carried on by succession. But after that, Moses died or was taken up. It was written by someone, but not by Moses. Y'all heard that? You about ready to die. You think it's all good to sell your daughter if you get on hard times. Some of these Negroes believe in lawful rape based off the laws and Deuteronomy and all that. Man, you don't know what you read. You believe in slavery and you know what I mean, beating your slave to damn near to an inch of his life, and as long as he don't die, you don't owe nothing. Don't forget about the cat that picked up sticks and got bricked to death, and that's why you wear fringes. Now, let's not forget about that. Moses didn't write none of this. The hell is you even talking about? Moses ain't write the fact that Abraham was finna chop off Isaac's head and offer him up as a burnt offering. Nah, y'all, all this stuff is centuries after Moses, being written by several scribes from different perspectives under different authorities, man, different time periods. And they finally, the Torah was finally all put together around the time of Ezra. Look at this. Read that again. It says, but after that Moses was taken up, it was written by someone, but not by Moses. For in the Torah itself, it is written, and Moses died. And they buried him near the house of Phagor. And to this day, no one knows where he is buried. But how could Moses write that Moses died? See that right there? You can't even get around it. How the hell you write? How the hell are you writing that you died? You feel me? Died is past tense. He wasn't writing that I'm going to die. You know what I mean? He said died, and the man Moses died. That means somebody else wrote about his death, y'all. That's not Moses. Somebody else. Moses wouldn't be able to write about his death. He's already dead. Come on, man. Now it's time to make it make sense. You know what I mean? Come on now. How the hell is he dead writing about his death in Torah? That means somebody else wrote it way after he died, y'all. Use your creative voice within you. Use your common sense. But how could Moses write that Moses died? And whereas in the time after Moses, about 500 years or thereabout, it is found lying in the temple which was built. And after about 500 years more, that's 1,000 years after Moses, it's carried away and being what? Burnt in the time of Nebuchadnezzar. That means in Babylon, you didn't even have Torah. Nebuchadnezzar is the king of Babylon. That means in Babylon, you didn't even have it. It makes sense because Ezra had to recompile it and bring it on back, bring it on out after captivity. And being burnt in the time of Nebuchadnezzar, it is destroyed. And thus being written after Moses. What's written after Moses? The Torah. And thus being written after Moses and often lost, the Torah. Even this shows the foreknowledge of Moses, because he, foreseeing its disappearance, did not write it. And Moses knew, you understand? Like, man, the work I put down today gonna be destroyed, lost. The teachings I'm coming gonna be lost, destroyed. So no, he wouldn't write. He wouldn't write about what was coming to be destroyed. Stop it. Because he, foreseeing his disappearance, did not write it. But those who wrote it, being convicted of ignorance through their not foreseeing its disappearance, were not prophets. That means the Torah was not written by one prophet. If they were prophets, they would have had the foresight to understand this thing is going to be destroyed, lost, and refurbished countless of times. That's why Moses didn't write nothing. So whoever wrote it wasn't a prophet, because if they was, they would have had the foresight to understand, and we writing all this in vain. You know what I mean? And 100 years, Nebuchadnezzar going to come and burn all this. And it has been burnt, lost, and refurbished countless of times. Countless of times. It is. Page 293. Let's look at it. Let's see what Yahshua taught concerning the Torah. This is what Peter say. Then Peter, Kepha, he, talking about Yahshua, taught that the Torah is the mixture of truth with lies. Oh my God, bro. Dang. He taught that the Torah is the mixture of truth with falsehood. I remember that on one occasion, he finding fault with the Sadducees. And those are the priests in the New Testament. That's just the New Testament way of saying Zadok. Zadok. He finding fault with the Sadducees, said, you are in error, not knowing the true things of the scriptures. And on this account, you are ignorant of the power of Elohim. But if he laid it on them that they knew not the true things of the scriptures, it is obvious that there are what? False things in them. Bag drop. If you don't know the true things of the scripture, then that means there are false things in them too. And also, in as much as he said, be prudent money changers. A money changer is a banker. You know what I mean? And a banker has developed the eye to know real currency from counterfeit currency. So Yahshua taught Peter and them to be prudent bankers or money changers when you're dealing with the scripture. You gotta roll through it and say, okay, that's true. Nope, that's false. Okay, that's true. Nope, that's false. You got to develop your spirit to where, you understand, it goes off when you hear something that's off. Right? And it resonates when it's true. It is because there are genuine and false words. And so he said, how do you not perceive that which is reasonable in the scriptures? He makes the understanding of him stronger who voluntarily judges soundly. Same page, 293. Yahshua's teaching concerning Torah, his word to the scribes and teachers, Morim, of existing scriptures as to those who knew the true things of the Torah that then was is well known. And also that he said, I am not come to destroy the Torah, and yet that he appeared to be destroying it, is the part of one intimating that the things that he destroyed did not belong to the Torah. Not the real one, not the Torah of the Creator. You know what I mean? What's been destroyed? All types of Levitical practices and you know what I mean? All that has been wiped away. He says, so if it did pass away, it ain't belong in the first place. It ain't belong in the first place. And his saying, the heaven and earth will pass away, but not one least letter or punctuation will pass from the Torah, intimated that the things which pass away before the heaven and the earth do so, do not belong to the Torah in the first place. So stop all that. Well, he said not one jot or tittle. Well, whatever did pass didn't belong there anyway, because everything ain't true. Spurious words in there as well. If y'all get some understanding, throw an 8 up in the chat. Bless up, Creative Gang in the building, baby. Nah, getting that knowledge up. I see. My sister Mariah KC in the building. Embrace that, sister. It's all good. You ain't hearing nothing evil, baby. It's all good. You know what I mean? Breathe in, let the light in. Right? Deal with your creator. Right? Your creator nothing but love and light. He ain't never been vindictive and want you to kill your child just to prove your love toward it. That's a false God. That's a false God. All right. Now let's compare and contrast some stories out of the Torah and show different authorship. See, you don't want to believe Wellhausen because he's a European. All right, well, we gonna go into some biblical friendly text then. And the Nazarene Acts basically just said what Wellhausen and them said 1800 years later. And he ain't even quoting the Nazarene Acts. Peter understood, talked to him by Yahshua, that the Torah they had in the first century was problematic. It has true things in it and it has lies in it. And if you're going to deal with it, you got to know how to be a great money changer, because you got to develop the spirit to understand truth from falsehood, because it's falsehood in Bible. It is. It is. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. Y'all be all right. All right, so this Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 side by side. You know what I mean? Goes into the duration of creation. Genesis 1, 6 days. Genesis 2, 4b to 25, 1 day is implied. Primordial scenario, dark, watery chaos, desert-like oasis. And then the main thing that sticks out between Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2 is the order of creation. All right? Genesis chapter 1, the light, the sky dome, the dry land, the plants, the lights the light set in the sky dome, sun, moon, stars, sea and sky creatures, land animals, then man. That's the order in Genesis 1. In Genesis 2, man is created first. Then the garden with the trees and the rivers and the land animals and birds, and then woman. One is not a summary of the other, y'all. There are two different creation stories. Genesis 1 is a different creation story from Genesis, the second chapter. Look at the sequence of creation. Look at it. Man was made last. Genesis 1:26 and Genesis 1, the sixth day. Man was the last of creation. God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the birds of the air and the fish of the sea and every creeping thing. Yeah, man was made last, according to Genesis chapter 1. When you get over to Genesis chapter 2, man was made first. Man was made in Genesis 1 after the plants, after the herbs, after the trees, after the animals. Then man came. In Genesis 2, man is created first, then the animals, then the trees, then the herbs. And the last of all creation is the woman that was taken out of Adam's rib and made into a woman. You see that? No, Genesis chapter 2 is not a summary of Genesis chapter 1. There are two different stories. Two different stories. You see that? Dang. All right. But that may not be enough for you. All right. Most believe that Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2 are the same story, just one summarizes the other. However, under closer scrutiny, it has been revealed that both accounts are by two different authors. Look at this, Genesis 1 and 20. I want y'all to be real with yourself real quick. A lot of us skip over this. A lot of us skip over this. I did right now, if not no other, you be real with yourself. All right. I'm about to read two different creation accounts. All right. About the fowls or the birds that fly in the air. Okay. Be real with yourself and ask yourself, is this the same story? Are they created out of the same thing? Or these are two different stories told by two different authors at two different time periods? Genesis 1 and 20. And God / Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life, and fowl or bird that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. As we can see, the author of Genesis chapter 1 wrote that the birds or fowls that fly above the earth in the open firmament were created out of what? The waters. That means your eagle came out the water. That means everything that fly up there was created out of the water, according to Genesis chapter 1 and 20. If y'all understand that, give me a 7 up in the chat. Let's slow down a little bit. Let's slow down. Let's prove that Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2 are two different creation stories, not authored by Moses. We already proved Moses ain't write none of it. Y'all see that? That's what it says. And Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly. What the waters are going to bring forth? The moving creature that have life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. So the birds that fly in the air or the fowls that fly in the air, according to Genesis 1:20, were made out the water. Every bird. Also, the deity / deities is or are called Elohim. What does Genesis chapter 2 say about these same birds? Were they created out of the waters? Genesis 2 and 19. And out of the ground. And out of the ground, Yahweh Elohim formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the earth. Well, hold on. I thought the fowls of the earth were created out of the waters in Genesis chapter 1. But in Genesis chapter 2, the birds that fly in the open firmament up in the sky come out the ground. They come out the ground. So I'm going to ask you, is this harmony or contradiction? Genesis 1 and 20 says the birds were created out of the waters. Genesis 2 and 19 say they were created out of the ground. One just uses Elohim, the other one uses Yahweh. So is this a contradiction or harmony? If it's a contradiction, put a 1 up in the chat. If it's harmony, put 2. I'm gonna tell y'all what one brother of mine told me, because I think he's still in denial. He said, well, technically, when you're on ground, you're on water too, because the earth is 80% water. I said, boy, look, you're not gonna play with me. Ground is not water. You understand? Even when you look the words up in Hebrew, the ground in Hebrew is not what water is. Water is mayam, ground is adama or eretz. It just depends. It's not even the same word. It don't even have the same meaning. So what you mean? It's a contradiction. Either the birds were created out of the waters or they were created out of the ground. Which one? Now look at this. If Moses is the author of the first 2 chapters of Genesis, then he is clearly confused about his own creation story. The only logical explanation is that both accounts were written by 2 different authors at different time periods from different perspectives. Either the fowls that fly in the air were created out of the waters or the ground. Which one is it? Let's look at some more examples of multiple authors in the Torah. You ever heard of Noah's Ark? I see ones up in the chat. Everybody knows a contradiction. That means everybody in there know how to be real with themselves. All right, you ain't ready to have no conversation with the created gang if you're not willing to be real with yourself. Now, let's go examine the flood story. So you can run Julius Wellhausen. Oh, you over there talking about, I'm in Bible right now. And I went and showed you Peter and them 2,000 years ago. They knew it. They like, man, Moses ain't write none of that. Moses ain't write none of that. Now look at this, Genesis 6:19-20. Look at this. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shall you bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. So Genesis 6:19-20, you understand? Noah is commanded by biblical God to bring a pair of every animal, whether it's a fowl, cattle, or a creeping thing, male and female, 2 and 2, to keep them alive on earth. And it said the key word, y'all, there is every. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort, shall you bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They should be male and female. They are the fowls after their kind, of the cattle of their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of what? Every. Remember that. Genesis 6:19-20. Don't even make a distinction between clean and unclean animals. 2 of every sort gets on there. Male and female, right? Notice in Genesis chapter 6:19-20, Noah's commanded to bring 2 of every animal that has the breath of life into the ark, male and female. This includes every fowl, every cattle, and every creeping thing upon the face of the earth. The key word is every. Don't forget that. Let's take a look at Genesis chapter 7. Remember, those who are mentally short believe Moses wrote the Torah. Remember, those who are mental midgets, mentally short, believe Moses wrote the Torah. If this is the case, then Moses is confused about his own story. Pay attention. Genesis 7:1-3. And Yahweh said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast you shall take to thee by 7s, the male and his female. And of beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and his female. Of fowls also of the air by 7s, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. In Genesis 7:1-3, Yahweh changes his mind about the animals that are to enter the ark. 7 pairs, male and female, of so-called clean animals are to enter, and only 2 pairs of the so-called unclean animals are to enter the ark. So which one is it? Pairs of 2 of every fowl, cattle, and creeping thing, or 7 pairs of clean and 2 pairs of the unclean animals? If Moses wrote this, he is clearly confused about the animal count on Noah's ark. Let's read further into Genesis chapter 7. Genesis chapter 7:7-9. So we already got established that, well, Genesis 6 says every fowl, every cattle, and every creeping thing, right? By 2s, male and female. Genesis 7, 1 through 3 makes a distinction. Well, no, not 2 of every kind. If they're clean animals, take 7 pairs, male and female. And if they're unclean, only take 2. Right? Now we jump down to Genesis 7, 7 through 9. Look at this. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with them into the ark because of the waters of the flood, of clean beasts and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went in 2 and 2 unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as God had commanded Noah. Hold on. As we read further into Genesis chapter 7, it makes a distinction between the clean and unclean, but guess what it says? It don't say nothing about no 7s. It don't matter if it's clean or unclean in Genesis 7, 7 through 9. They still enter the ark, what? 2 by 2. Whether they clean or unclean. Whether they're clean or unclean. Look at this. Genesis 7, 13 through 15. In the self same day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark. They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. Hold on. Notice in Genesis 7, 9 to 15, every fowl, every cattle, and every creeping thing, clean or unclean, male and female, enter the ark by 2s and not pairs of 7. The only logical explanation is that there are multiple authors of the Torah, and none of them are Moses. If y'all understand that, if you understand that the command went to Noah at first to take 2 pairs of every animal, every fowl, every cattle, and every creeping thing, to preserve them alive. That's who you led into the ark, right? If you understand that, and then we get to Genesis 7, and then he separates the clean from the unclean and allows you to bring in 7 pairs of the clean and 2 pairs of the unclean. And then as we keep reading in Genesis 7, it goes back and reiterates what we read in Genesis, the 6th chapter. No, every fowl, every cattle, every creeping thing, clean or unclean, male or female, goes in by 2s. If y'all understand that what we're looking at is either harmony or contradiction. If it's a contradiction, throw another 1 up in the chat. If you can make that harmonize, give me a 2. Give me a 2. You got in the same chapter, God switching his mind back. Look at this. Let's look at Exodus. Tell these young boys, I do's this. What are you talking about? I do's this. All praises. Reg Mo in the building, my brother. What's the word up? Prince Judah say, who wrote this contradiction? God? You crazy, man. Oh, wait. All right, so let's get into Exodus. Watch this. Exodus. And what we're proving is the Torah was not written by Moses. It was written by multiple authors, unknown scribes at different time periods. You feel me? Under different inspirations, under different authority from different perspectives. So yeah, you open it up on the first book of Moses. Moses ain't writing none of that. None of it. And the whole everything was burnt by the time they got to Babylon anyway. And they were up under no illusions during the first century that the Torah that the priest and them was using the Lord over the people was not from Moses. Even Peter said Moses got the Torah from the Creator without writing. He ain't writing nothing, so that means it was oral. He was communing with him. Look at this Exodus 6. Okay, I see ones in the building. We ain't making none of this up. Exodus 6, 2 through 3. Look at this. And God spake unto Moses and said unto him, I am Yahweh, or Jehovah. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty, or El Shaddai. That's how you say. El Shaddai is the way you say God Almighty in English. El Shaddai is Hebrew. All right. Or El Shaddai is the way you say God Almighty in Hebrew, excuse me. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of El Shaddai. But by my name, Jehovah, was I not known to them. And this is supposedly Moses writing about his encounter with Yahweh or Jehovah. And according to supposedly Moses is saying that the patriarchs never had his name or the name of Jehovah. So that means, y'all, look at this. God spake to Moses and told him that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob called him El Shaddai, God Almighty, and that they never knew of him by the name Jehovah or Yahweh. This is very problematic because if what biblical God is saying to Moses is true, then there shouldn't be anywhere in Torah where these great men of antiquity called him Jehovah / Yahweh. Take notes. Class is in session. This real quick. Yep. So Strong's Concordance H3068 is Jehovah. All right. That's where you get when you see Lord, capital Lord in the Bible, the Hebrew word behind that is Jehovah. All right. So that's the Strong's Hebrew lexicon right there. Okay. Let's click on it so y'all can see it. You got to play no games. You feel me? That way you can see what's going on. Cal, warning. Warning. It's 3068. All right. He's saying that they never called on Jehovah. Look at it.
Strong's H3068. Yehovah. Yehovah.
Look at this. Jehovah is translated how many times as Lord? 6,510 times. So if you got anywhere in there, Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob calling on the Lord, in Hebrew, it's Jehovah or Yahuwah. Whenever you see capital Lord in the Bible, the Hebrew name behind it is Jehovah. Jehovah, the existing one, the proper name of the one true God, unpronounced except with the vowel points. All right. Yahuwah, H1961, self-existent or eternal, meaning to be, Hawa. Jehovah, Jewish national name of God, Jehovah, the Lord. So y'all see that, right? So whenever you see Lord or any of that in English, it's Jehovah. And according to Exodus 6:3, biblical God told Moses that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob never knew the name of Jehovah or never knew El Shaddai by Jehovah. That's what it says. That's what it says. So let's go see. Let's get back to it. Let's go see. Did Abraham ever call on the name Jehovah? Because they saying Exodus 6 says he didn't. Let's go to Genesis 22:14. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh. Hold on. What you mean Abraham ain't know? He called the name of the place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mountain of Jehovah. Remember, the Lord is Jehovah. In the mount of Jehovah it shall be seen. Abraham is calling the place that he's at after the name of the God that revealed himself to Moses. And that God told Moses, according to Moses, that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob never knew him by Jehovah. And we can flip right over to Genesis, the 22nd chapter in Torah, and see Abraham calling on Jehovah. Abraham did know the name of Jehovah and called upon his name. Let's see if his son Isaac knew God by the name of Jehovah. Genesis 26:24-25, headshot. And Jehovah and Yahweh appeared unto him, Isaac, the same night, and said, I am the God of Abraham, your father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of who? Jehovah, or the Lord. Just shows you the concordance, H3068. The Lord is translated 6,510 times as Jehovah. And so Isaac did know the name of Jehovah. Abraham did know the name of Jehovah. Let's go see if Jacob knew. Look at this. And he multiplied and he builded, and he builded an altar there and called upon the name of the Lord, aka Jehovah, and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. Hold on. Isaac did know the name of Jehovah and called upon that name. and even built altars to Jehovah as his father before him. Let's see if his son Jacob knew God by the name of Jehovah. Genesis 28, 12 through 13, 16, 18 through 21, headshot. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, Jehovah stood above it and said, I am Jehovah. This is what Jehovah telling Jacob. What do you mean Jacob didn't know his name? I am Jehovah, God of Abraham, your father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon you liest, to thee will I give it and to your seed. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, surely Jehovah, or the Lord, is in this place. And I knew it not. And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillow. Boy, that hard-headed joker was laying on rocks that he had put for his pillows, and set it up for a pillar, or an altar, y'all, and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if Elohim will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and clothes to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall Jehovah or Yahweh be my God. Sit your monkey ass down somewhere talking about they didn't know the name. That means Exodus 6 and 3, you understand, is wrong, because we went to 3 different spots in Genesis and showed Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob not only calling on the name of Jehovah, but building altars in the name of Jehovah. So if you're saying Moses wrote both accounts, then Moses is clearly crazy as all hell and don't even understand the own story that he's authoring. What are you talking about? As we see according to the Torah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob not only knew the name of Jehovah, Yahweh, they called upon him and even built altars dedicated to Jehovah. If Moses is the author of the Torah, then he is utterly confused. Was the holy name Jehovah revealed to Moses first, or his forefathers before him? Either way, we have a clear-cut contradiction. Exodus 6 and 3 says Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob never knew the name Jehovah, but all through Genesis, they're calling on him. Which one is it? The only logical explanation is that both accounts were written by different authors, which doesn't include Moses. Sit your monkey ass down somewhere. Look at this. It's a source right here that I got. That's my actual book. Had to pull it out. I had to blow the dust off of it and pull it outside. And I'm talking about. Man, if y'all get some understanding, spend the vortex up in this deal, man. That's work. That's work, baby. That's work, baby. Moses and the original Torah by Abba Halil Silver. He's a rabbi. All right. Man, believe it or not, I got this book used for like $80. They wanted hellas for this book back in the day. I don't know how much they want for it now. But when I got this like 3-4 years ago, man, they wanted an arm and a leg for this. And I found a used one for $80. I said, let me get that deal. There must be some info in here. Let's read. Let's read. All right. Y'all check that book out when y'all get a chance. It's pretty marvelous. You know what I'm talking about? All right, page number 7. When the prophet Amos, 8th century BC, speaking in the name of Jehovah, confronted his people with the challenging question, did you bring to me sacrifices and offerings the 40 years in the wilderness, O house of Israel? Amos 5 and 25. He was clearly expecting a negative response. He would not have uttered his challenge if it were generally held on the basis of a long-established tradition or a sacred document. Shout out to my brother Silas Shalom. We talked about that earlier. What documents was Moses and them using then? What documents was Ezra and them using? It says right here, it said he would not have uttered his challenge if it were generally held on the basis of a long-established tradition or a sacred document, that such sacrifices had in fact been offered during the 40 years of the wandering of their ancestors in the wilderness. On the contrary, Amos's rhetorical question presupposed that the people knew there had been no such sacrifices. Remember The documentary hypothesis states that the priestly section, Leviticus and all that, was added to the Torah last by Ezra now. This is crazy. But the Exodus narratives in the Torah tell of Moses' request of the Pharaoh for permission to lead the people of Israel out into the wilderness, a 3-day journey, so that they might sacrifice unto Yahweh their God. Exodus 3:18. He also requested from the Pharaoh animals for sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice unto Yahweh our God. Exodus 10:25. All the legal codes of the Pentateuch Torah take the institution of sacrifices for granted. How could Amos have said what he did say unless there existed an older code or tradition, which the people associated with Moses and the Exodus, which ignored sacrifices? Sacrifices were, of course, widespread at all the sanctuaries of Israel and Judah, and Amos was fully aware of the fact. Nevertheless, he dared to assert that these had no precedent, that the sacrifices had no precedent in the practices of the ancestors of Israel after they left Egypt, and presumably had never been ordained by Moses. Y'all heard this? Y'all heard this? And y'all, this cat wrote this book back in the 60s. You know what I mean? And he's letting it be known, like, look, all that had to have been added later, because why would Amos even say that? Why would Amos say, was it to me you was offering sacrifices and burnt offerings in the wilderness 40 years? But you have did this, or no, that wasn't to me. All those Levitical sacrifices and all that, look, that's the same thing the Canaanites do to their deities. Same exact thing. Amos did not attack the institution of sacrifices in his own name. He did not just express his personal disapproval of them, nor did he announce that Yahweh now wished to have them discontinued, although he had previously commanded them. Right. Amos categorically declared that they had never been practiced. Yeah, you know, the burnt offerings, you know, the chopping off of goat heads, the gutting of the victim, cutting out the organs, cutting off the fat, cutting off the legs, washing the legs and the organs in water, sprinkling the blood, making a blood border around the altar in a circle, and then sprinkling the blood on the corners of the altar. You throw the chopped off head, the dismembered organs, the chopped off legs and the fat on the altar of burnt offering, and you roast that sucker as a sweet smelling aroma to the deity. Look at this. Amos categorically declared that they had never been practiced by the people of Israel through their 40 years wandering in the wilderness, with the clear implication that they had never been commanded to do so. That they had never been commanded to do so by Yahweh. Look at this. If no sacrifices were offered in the wilderness, there was no need for a priesthood. See, there it is. Y'all go today so amped about the holy Levitical priests. Yeah, this goes even deeper. If no sacrifices were commanded, who are these priests? They done wrote themselves into the narrative when came up off the people, because they collecting all the tithes, all of them. Whether that be food, harvest, animals, monies, whatever you talking about. And you mean to tell me the priestly faction was the last thing added to the Torah coming out of captivity? If no sacrifices were offered in the wilderness, there was no need for a priesthood. Today you got Milli Vanilli running around here talking about something. He's the chief priest in Israel. Your boy Adonis, Gorilla Hebrew. Boy, you look remedial out here. If no sacrifices were offered in the wilderness, there was no need for a priesthood, whose function it would be to officiate at them. The biblical account of sacrifices offered at the tent of meeting, Mishkan Ohel Moed, during the years of wanderings in the wilderness must therefore be viewed as what? As a later priestly revision. Bag drop, boy. And this ain't the documentary hypothesis. Our people don't have a clue, man. We don't know if we coming or going. You so devoted. Oh, look at the devoted disciple to the deity. Him so cute. You don't know what you doing. You just blindly read something and say, okay, yeah, that's what it is. You know what I mean? And just ready to crash out. You ain't critically examined none of it. None of it. And then you done turn the murder of Yahshua into a sacrifice. How about the sacrifices were never ordained by the Creator? Never. No, y'all murdered Big Bro. That's what you did. You murdered this man who came and brought this highlight of Jaja to you. You murdered him. Now you want to change into a sacrifice to make sure it replaces the sacrifices that God never commanded anyway. He ain't never wanted you to kill nothing he made alive. For what? To calm him down? For what? To appease the God? He's angry, calm him down? Well, what do he want? He want a candy? He want a Jolly Rancher? What, he want a hug? No, he wants some blood. Man, what the hell is wrong with y'all? All that is later revisions. Here you go in 2024, so devoted, ready to crash out. You know, gravel mouth Dawood. I hear Zion Lex and them talking. You know, it's just, you know, the Ruach and the Rofinu, and nigga, you don't even talk like that. You don't even talk like that. You cats are taking on the vibration of your enemies. Don't even know it. Don't even know it. Huh? Look at this. It says right here. It says, during the years of wanderings in the wilderness must therefore be viewed as a later priestly revision. A backward, look at this. And y'all get mad at us when we talk about backdating. They backdating all this shit, man. Look at this. It says, hold on. Let me read this straight through. It says, the biblical account of sacrifices offered at the tent of meeting during the years of wanderings in the wilderness must therefore be viewed as a later priestly revision, a backward projection into the past. They backdated it, which was intended to give Mosaic authority to the institution of sacrifices and to the Levitical or Aaronic priesthood. Ball game. What the hell you talking about? Ball game. Moses had nothing to do with it. They backdated the Leviticus in order for it to have Mosaic authority amongst the people. And it all come out of Babylon, Persia. Yeah, after Cyrus allowed you Negroes to return and start building on the temple and all that, that's when all this came out. Look at this. The same priestly expedient is responsible also for the rather strange tale that the Israelites, before their departure from Egypt, were instructed by Moses to ask of the Egyptian neighbors jewelry of silver and of gold and clothing. And Yahweh had given the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians so that they let them have what they asked. Exodus 12:35-36. Without this gold, silver, and clothing, the Israelites could not, of course, have made the offerings of gold, silver, bronze, blue, and purple, and scarlet stuff, and so forth for the what? The furnishing of the tabernacle in the wilderness. Huh? That means all this is later added. Because if the priest is a backward projection, the priestly sacrifices and all that, then what is the tabernacle and temple? You don't even know. You don't even know. Remember, they borrowed from the Egyptians or robbed the Egyptians. And the very material that they took from the Egyptians, according to the biblical narrative in Exodus, is the very materials they used to construct the tabernacle, which later became the temple. To construct the Ark of the Covenant, to construct the menorah, to construct the altar of gold or altar of incense, to construct the altar of burnt offerings. They needed the material from Egypt. So that means the most sacred object in what you call Judaism, which is the Ark of the Covenant, was built with Egyptian gold. You really don't want to really get down to what it is you're doing. And we just read out of a WASPI that the whole tale of the Genesis and Exodus come out of Egypt anyway. Makes sense now, don't it? Because even the material that you took from the Egyptians, you understand, was used to create the tabernacle, the Ark of the Covenant, the altar of incense, the altar of burnt offering, the menorah, the table of showbread, huh? Your lavers and all that. All that was made, the curtains for the tabernacle, all that was made with the supplies you took from Egypt. And the tabernacle was where the priests are doing sacrifices. But if all that was added hundreds and hundreds of years later, then guess what? All this is backdated. Intended to give Mosaic authority to the priesthood. If there were no sacrifices, no need for a priesthood then. Whew. If you understand that, throw a 4 up in the chat, baby. Look at this right here. Deuteronomy makes no mention of the construction of a tabernacle in the wilderness. Really? Really? Look at this. Egypt had a sacrificial system which was undoubtedly well known to Moses and to the Israelites. So did all the peoples of antiquity. Moses would have none of it in the Torah which he gave to his people. How in the hell we about to copy and start slaughtering animals and throwing blood everywhere like all the other idolatrous people of antiquity? How? What we look like doing that? So did all the peoples of antiquity. Moses would have none of it in the Torah which he gave to his people. Look at this. He rejected the entire system of sacrifices as a means of worshiping Yahweh. This was a religious innovation of a startling and revolutionary character. The elaborate sacrificial system, which is found in the Torah, was undoubtedly, listen, y'all, was undoubtedly developed later. Under who? The Canaanite gods. Hold on, what Naphtali monkey ass said. Look at it. Oh my God, bro. Do y'all see this? Canaanite influence. You know, my bro Selah already showed y'all the Canaanite Holy of Holies. Man, look, y'all better leave us alone. Huh? And y'all, this is a rabbi. This is a rabbi who wrote this book in the 1960s telling you the elaborate sacrificial system, which is found in the Torah, was undoubtedly developed later under Canaanite influence. Bag drop, boy. In some instances, the very names of the sacrifices. In some instances, the very names of the sacrifices were appropriated from them. From who? The Canaanite gods. She don't know what the hell she talking about. You don't even realize you're worshiping a Canaanite god, boo-boo. You in Canaan's land. You speaking Canaan's language. You in Canaan's Holy of Holies. And the names of your deities, the name of your gods are Canaanite. Yahweh, El, Elohim, all that. But cursed be Canaan, though. How when you in his land speaking his language and calling on his gods, and performing his sacrifices? Yeah, that part. Look at this. Amos knows of a Torah. Amos knows of a Torah of Yahweh, Amos 2:4. He denounces the people of Judah for having rejected this Torah and for not, and for not having kept Yahweh's statutes. Hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. All right. 1 second. Let me holler at Mom Duke real quick. That's Mom's calling me and make sure everything cool. Give me 1 second. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Had to holler at Mom Dukes real quick. Mom's about to start doing some traveling. Make sure she all good. You feel me? All right, so let's get back to this. If y'all get some understanding, spin the vortex up in this deal, man. We looking good, baby. We looking good. We looking marvelous. Spin the vortex up in here. Make sure we all good and spotty yoddy real quick. All right, spin the vortex up in this slab, baby. And let's cook. Let's cook. Let's cook. Let's cook. All right. Now you gotta always make sure your fam good, man. Mom Dukes. Your mom's is all good, okay? All right, where was we at? All right, all right, I'm gonna start back right here. That's crazy, man. Canaanite influence. That's where the sacrifices come from. The Canaanite gods. The Canaanite. Hey, Bronze do the best impersonation, though, man. Y'all gotta hear Bronze say it. The Canaanite gods. Okay. All right, look at this. All right. Amos 2 and 4. He denounced, Amos knows of a Torah of Yahweh. He denounces the people of Judah for having rejected this Torah and for not having kept Yahweh's statutes. He does not specify wherein this rejection consisted and in what regard they had failed to keep the statutes. He calls attention, however, to the lies which have led them astray, after which their fathers walked. This undoubtedly was understood by his listeners to refer to the worship of other gods and to idolatrous practices. When Amos subsequently enumerates the transgressions of Israel, he is more specific. They sell the righteous for silver and the needy for a pair of shoes. They trample the head of the poor into the dust of the earth. They indulge in the indecent rites which were associated with the worship of Ashtaroth. Good night, boy. Good night, boy. You see what these priests are doing? The Torah of Yahweh, to which Amos referred in addressing Judah, must certainly have included, along with the provisions for the exclusive worship of Yahweh and the prohibition of idolatry, statutes for the safeguarding of the rights of the poor. That's righteous. And the needy and other matters of social justice, which are included in his indictment of Israel. Hosea, 8th century BC, too is aware of a Torah of Yahweh, which the people had transgressed, and also of a covenant which they broke, Hosea 8 and 1. He too assumes that the people knew of what he spoke. He details the nature of their transgressions. They make idols, Hosea 8 and 4, and offer sacrifices which God has not asked for, Hosea 8 and 13. There is no faithfulness, truth, or kindness, and no knowledge of God in the land. There is swearing, lying, killing, stealing, and committing adultery. And murder follows murder, Hosea 4, 1 through 2. The people have forgotten the Torah of their God, Hosea 4 and 6. And you thinking the whole time this is the written Torah. No, it's not the written Torah. It's what the Creator orally taught Moses to teach the people. And even those before Moses. It's not the Torah of the Creator is different than the written Torah. The Torah which Hosea speaks likewise did not contain any ordinances for sacrifices. Y'all see this? The Torah which Hosea speaks likewise did not contain any ordinances for sacrifices. For I desire what? Steadfast love and not sacrifice. The knowledge of God, rather than what? Burnt offerings, which is a chopped off goat head, or in Jephthah's case, the chopped off head of his daughter. You can't be serious with this. The Torah which Hosea speaks was undoubtedly the same Torah which Amos quoted as his authority. Micah, another prophet. So we got Amos, Hosea, Micah, Isaiah, Jeremiah. The prophets was totally against what the priests were doing. Now, how was that possible if what the priests were doing was established before the prophets? Micah, 8th century, does not specifically refer to a Torah of Yahweh or to a covenant. He denounces both Israel and Judah for their idolatrous worship. Micah 1, 5 through 7. The people desire evil. They covet fields and seize them. They oppress a man in his house. The prophets lie. The heads and rulers abhor justice and pervert all equity. They give judgment for a bribe. They love sorceries and soothsayers, and images and asherim. They have wearied Yahweh, who sent them Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, and brought them out of Egypt. Micah is the first of the literary prophets to mention Moses by name. But the fact of the Exodus is central in the thought of this prophet, as it is of the prophets generally, especially those of the north. Micah reminds the people that Yahweh had already told them what is good and what he requires of man. Not burnt offerings or thousands of rams or rivers of oil. Not human sacrifices, but to do justice and to love kindness and walk in probity with your God. Look at that. That's right and exact. Yeah, the prophets was totally against what the priest was doing. These niggas out here like, yeah, the holy Levitical priesthood, shit, the abominable, the blasphemous Leviticus priesthood. They got it from the Canaanite gods. Micah recalls to the people that they seem to have forgotten. He is not telling them anything that they should not have known. He's clearly referring, though not by name, to a Torah, a sacred set of teachings which had come down to them from the distant part, from Moses in the time of the Exodus. Isaiah, circa 740, calls upon the rulers of the land whom he stigmatizes because of their great wickedness as rulers of Sodom and Gomorrah, to give ear to the word, listen to the voice, right? Give ear to the word of Yahweh, to the Torah of our God. They, as well as the people, have rejected the Torah of Yahweh of hosts. They are rebellious people who would not listen to the Torah of Yahweh. This Torah, Isaiah 30 and 9, this Torah demands a different kind of worship, not sacrifices, not the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts. God does not delight in the blood of bulls or lambs or of he-goats. Incense is an abomination to God. God hates, biblically, God hates the celebration of new moons and all appointed feasts. God wants men to cease to do evil, learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppressions, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. Isaiah 1:16-17. This is the Torah which the people had received and which they had rejected. They were not turning their backs upon any new doctrines or teachings which he, the prophet Isaiah, was bringing to them. He was only the messenger who had been sent by Yahweh to admonish the people to return to the Torah of Yahweh, which had been given to their ancestors, from which they, their descendants, had strayed. No prophet drives home the thought that there was an original Torah which did not contain any reference to sacrifices more forcibly than Jeremiah. His is the most unqualified assertion of all. His is the most unqualified assertion of all. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, add your burnt offerings to your sacrifices and eat the flesh. And that's crazy, because if you know anything about a burnt offering is wholly consumed by fire, right? Anybody putting that up there don't partake in it at all. So that's crazy. He's telling you, go ahead and add your burnt offerings to your sacrifice and eat the flesh. For in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, I did not speak to your fathers or command them concerning what? Burnt offerings and sacrifices. Jeremiah 7:21-22. Amos had declared that the ancestors of Israel in the wilderness had not offered any sacrifices. Jeremiah now states categorically that Yahweh never commanded them anything concerning sacrifices. So that if the prophets are saying that means Moses didn't write Leviticus. Look at it. Jeremiah refers to a class of religious leaders in his day, other than priests, shepherds, rulers, and prophets, who were known to Tofsei HaTorah, they that handle the Torah, the guardians of the Torah, who, like the others, had betrayed their trust. This would suggest not only that there was in existence a recorded Torah, but that it was entrusted to a special group of men whose task apparently it was to guard it and to teach it to the people. Almost done. The people have forsaken this Torah which Yahweh had given them, Jeremiah 9:12. All the evil which had come upon them was due to the fact that they had forsaken Yahweh and had not kept his Torah, Jeremiah 16:11, also 6:19. And remember, Yahweh's Torah is not the written Torah. Remember, that Torah was given to Moses without writing. Peter said that in the Nazarene Acts. Jeremiah singles out for distinction only two figures from his people's long past, Moses and Samuel. Though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my heart would not turn toward this people. Jeremiah 15:1. Moses was their leader at the time of the Exodus, and Samuel at the time of the founding of the monarchy. Both prayed and pleaded for the people in dark and perilous hours of divine wrath. Jeremiah's admiration for Samuel was undoubtedly inspired in part by the latter's attitude toward sacrifices. Though himself a priest in the sanctuary of Shiloh and elsewhere, he proclaimed as Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of Yahweh. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice. To obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. Samuel, centuries later and under changed conditions, tried to continue the spiritual tradition of Moses. The temple in Jerusalem, Jeremiah proclaimed, will become a heap of ruins like Shiloh if the people persisted in ignoring the Torah, which Yahweh had set before them. This Torah, which contained no ordinances about sacrifices, did contain instructions that men should execute justice toward one another, that they should not oppress the alien, the fatherless, and the widow, or shed innocent blood, or worship other gods. It did not include laws against stabbing. It did include laws against stabbing, murder, adultery, and swearing falsely and burning incense to Baal. Jeremiah reminds the people of the covenant which had been made with the children of Israel when they left Egypt. So shall you be my people, and I will be your God. Jeremiah 11:4. They had broken this covenant by worshiping other gods. Jeremiah 22:9. The people had been persistently warned of the consequences which would follow the breaking of the covenant. Nevertheless, they walked in the stubbornness of their evil hearts. Therefore, God brought upon them all the words of this covenant, which I commanded them to do, but they did not. And again, y'all, that's Moses and the original Torah. I'm going to end this with 2nd Ezra so y'all can see that, yeah, it was all burnt during Ezra's time, which is roughly 1,000 years after Moses. Y'all go check this book out right here. It's a good read, man. Moses and the original Torah, the real character of Moses and the central message of the Torah, written by a rabbi in the 1960s. You feel me? And he had enough sense to go through it and say, hold on, there's something different going on here. And he admitted that the priestly offerings and all that was added way later to the Torah, and it was backdated and put in there with the intention of adding Mosaic authority to the priesthood. But if it wasn't no sacrifices, no need for the priesthood. You dig? And that also means that Moses didn't write Leviticus. He didn't write Deuteronomy. He didn't write Numbers, Exodus, or Genesis. Huh? If y'all getting some understanding, go ahead and throw me a 3 up in the chat, man. Bless up, bless up. Shout out to the haters, jawjackers, and naysayers. Yeah. You know we love y'all. You know we love y'all. You know what I mean? We'll just comment on my stuff, okay? Bing, 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 bing. All right. Good bread. Good bread, good bread, good bread. Bow, bow, bow. Okay. Got that going. All right, we got 3s up in the chat. 3s up in the chat. Let's finish it off. Let's finish it off with Ezra. We're going to close this on out. I mean, quick presentation just to show, just like because everybody try to come against old YHWH's and the author. Y'all don't even know who the author of the Torah is. I showed through several sources. From Bible and even outside Bible. You don't know. Nobody know who wrote the Torah. So at least we know who YHWH came through. You don't even know who wrote Torah or Bible for the most part. You know what I mean? Even when it came down to like the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The title of it is the Gospel according to Matthew. That's not how you sign yourself off as an author in Greek. It don't say by Matthew. It says the Gospel according to Matthew. That's not how you sign yourself off of any work using Greek, using the Greek tongue or the Greek pen. You don't know who wrote the Gospels. You don't know none of it. You don't know. You know what I mean? I bought the last book. Yeah, that deal tight. Oseas Yahudah. Let's finish it off. 2nd Ezra 14, 21 through 26, verse 37 through 48. Headshot. Look at this. Yeah, Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel. So this is Ezra speaking to the biblical God. For thy Torah is burnt. See, and this is during the Babylonian captivity. They didn't have a Torah. They did not have a Torah in captivity. That means, and that captivity is after the time Moses lived. So that means what they came out of captivity with was not the work of Moses. That's easy work. For thy Torah is burnt, therefore no man knoweth the things that are done of thee, or the work that shall begin. But if I have found grace before thee, send the Holy Ghost into me, and I shall write all that have been done in the world since the beginning, which were written in thy what? Law, that men may find thy path, and that they which will live in the latter days may live. So he letting it be known we don't even got a Torah in captivity. So send me the Holy Ghost so I can what? Write. So Ezra got to get some spiritual communion going on. Just like JBN did with OWASP. This really is what destroyed the argument dealing with any Israelites, because the Bible you got today came through spiritual communion. Just like OWASP did. Same thing. This is a little worse though, because once you see what he got to do, look at it. Look at it, 23. And he answered me, saying, go thy way, gather the people together, and say unto them that they seek thee not for 40 days. Look thou, prepare thee many box trees, and take with thee Sariah, Debria, Selemiah, Econis, and Aziel. These 5 which are ready to write what? Swiftly. So they were automatically writing fast, as Ezra was inspired through the Holy Ghost to speak. They writing fast. Neither one of them even know what's going on. You see what I'm saying? This is not up under their own unction. It's the same thing with JPN. He tell you he didn't even read OWASP to after it came through him, to after it was published. You know what I mean? So he ain't even the author. You know what I mean? The angelic host, the source would be the creator, and the angelic host would be the authors. John Ballou Newborough of the OWASP is a scribe. He's just like these scribes right here that we read about. And they were able to write swiftly. Well, in modern times, to write swiftly, you need a computer. You write swiftly, type it. Right? So that means his hands was moving, like their hands was moving, not up under their own volition, writing stuff. His hands was typing. What's the difference? What you offended about? Because Ezra and them didn't have a Torah. Look at this. It says, and come hither, and I shall light a candle of understanding in your heart, which shall not be put out till the things be performed, which thou shalt begin to write. When thou hast done some things shalt thou publish, and some things shalt thou show secretly to the wise. Tomorrow this hour shall you begin to write. Verse 37. So I took the 5 men as he commanded me, and we went into the field and remained there. The next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Ezra, open your mouth and drink that I give thee to drink. So this is spiritual communion, right? But in order for him to get his understanding, he got to drink some type of spiritual concoction. And this is an angel giving it to him. Look at this. Then opened I my mouth, and behold, he reached me a full cup, which was full as it were with water, but the color of it was like fire. And I took it and drank. And when I had drunk of it, my heart uttered understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast, for my spirit strengthened my memory. So did he get a cup of Holy Ghost to drink? Because he said, send the Holy Ghost to me so I can write. And then this angel gives him a cup of water that got the color of fire. He drinks it, and then he starts uttering understanding. So my question is, did Ezra drink a cup of the Holy Ghost? Because he asked for the Holy Ghost, and the Spirit gave him a cup. And once he drank that cup, then his understanding started. You feel me? That boy drinking on that Holy Ghost right and still, boy. And my mouth was open and shut no more. The highest gave understanding unto the 5 men, the scribes, right? And they wrote the wonderful visions of the night that were told, which they knew not. They writing and don't know what they're writing. They don't know. This is not coming out of their, even though they're writing, it's not coming out of their mind. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing with OWASP. Same exact thing. JBN typed it, but this is not the imagination of his mind. right? Just like angels, or an angel was dealing with Ezra, and angels was dealing with JBN. Same exact thing. So if you mad at how Watts became, get mad at Bible. Ezra drinking on that Holy Ghost. Look at this. It says, wrote the vision of the night that were told, which they knew not. And they said 40 days, and they wrote in the day, and at night they ate bread. For me, I spake in the day, and I held not my tongue by night. Ezra's mouth, he can't stop moving his mouth. He rolling with it. After he drank that cup of Holy Ghost. Look at this. 40 days, they wrote what? 204 books. Now remember, we talking about the Torah. Remember that. We're talking about the Torah. And you know the Torah today is 5 books. How about you supposed to have 204 books of Torah? What that's at? See, some people tell you, oh, that's Ezra's Torah. Macabee ain't gonna tell you that. You niggas ain't even got that. How the hell he write 204 books of Torah and you only got 5? What are the other 199 books of Torah? Good night, boy. Look at this. And it came to pass when the 40 days were filled that the highest spake, saying, the first that thou hast written, published openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it. But keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. And I did so. You supposed to have 204 books of Torah. You only got 5, Jack. What's going on here? Yeah. Moses ain't write the Torah, man. That Torah got rewritten right there in Babylon through Ezra and his scribes. And he was holy mouth mumbling. And his scribes are writing swiftly. Neither one of them knew what Ezra didn't know what he was saying, and the scribes didn't know what they was writing. They were just rolling. 204 books of Torah, right? You only got 5 today. What are the other 199? Yeah, that part. Done Meg in the building. Childhood partner, man. Salute. You already know, man. Tell your family I love them, bro. You know, so that right there was something quick, y'all. It wasn't even 2.5 hours. I just want to show Moses is not the author of the Torah. And I went through several, examples and showed that Moses is not the author of the Torah. All right. I can give y'all like 15 more minutes if y'all want to come on. Let me copy this and put this in the chat. Only got about 15, 20 more minutes, man. I gotta get up and finish packing and all that. I'm about to move the family. I need a bigger spot. You feel me? We moving out of this condo that we in. You feel me? Matter of fact, tomorrow I'm almost done packing and got everything together. But I want to get on here today and let it be known. Like, hey, look, since everybody running their mouth like the gang ain't outside, you feel me? Like the author of the Torah. Right? Like you got a problem with what we read in Cain, you feel me? Then you feeling froggy jump. But most y'all believe Moses wrote the Torah and he didn't. You know what I mean? So I'll give y'all about 15 more minutes. Anybody got any questions or something? Jump on her. We just put that doc together last night, man. Easy work. And it could have been way more. I could have made it like an 80-page doc. It was like 40 pages, I think. But you know what I mean? It ain't nothing to it. There's plenty of stuff we can add to it to further drive the point home. But after you see the different contradicting stories, after you see that, right? After we see sources from certain reputable rabbis saying the same thing. We went to the Nazarene Acts of the Apostles. Peter was saying the same thing. You feel me? Like Moses ain't right what y'all got today. That means what you got today. Moses ain't right what they had in his day, let alone today. So how do you talk ish about any author, you dig, but you don't know the author what you peddling around her? You don't even know the author of what you peddling. You don't even know. You don't know if you coming or going. You just running your mouth. You know what I mean? So it's all good, family, love, light, and cosmon, meaning balance. Yeah, man, that's easy. And if anybody y'all know want to debate y'all little brother on that, tell him he ain't. Look, his fingers ain't broke. His fingers ain't broke. Yep. You can either get under the wing or get in the ring, boy. You either gonna get up under the wing, or get in the ring. What you want to do? This is just real simple, man. You feel me? So a lot of people don't like how we come off. Even some faithists. You see some faithists that don't like the game because of how we, we're confident in what we're talking about. You feel me? And we ain't finna play with Israel. We know how Israelites are. We Israelites. We know how they are. You gotta punch them in the mouth with the truth. Other than that, they're not gonna listen to you. Like, who is this? Came around here unsure, yawning, scratching, doing all this and trying to wing the answer. No, not right to it. We ain't licking our fingers trying to figure nothing out. Right to it. Back to back. Back to back. Damn, nigga, overkill. I know. Go over there and lick your wounds. Go over there and lick your wounds. You know what I mean? And come on back outside when you're healed on up, man. I feel you, Sister Tabitha. Sister Tabitha say, man, stop debating all these low-hanging fruit. I know. They just, I don't know, sis. You know how it is, man. You dig? These cats be thinking they running something. They think they punk somebody if we don't. So I already told them I've been a wolf my whole life, not a sheep. I've been a shark my whole life, not a guppy. So you barking up the right tree, you know what I mean? Trying to talk heavy to me about your God or what you think you about to do. Man, I'm game. What's up? What's up? I'm all the way game. You feel me? So that's all that is. Like, I'd rather do presentations and keep it cool. But these cats been entertaining these deities for so long, sis. You feel me? They be foaming at the mouth. They call themselves throwing threats our way. We ain't tripping off none of that. You know what I mean? But one thing that we would never be made to look like as if we tucked our tail and ran. You know what I mean? Nah, I'm in the trenches. So if you in the trenches and shots is whizzing past you, we bust back too. You feel me? Now they gonna learn to stand down. That's it. I mean, we ain't looking for them. They looking for us. In the words of my brother Cosmo Kai, if you looking for a problem, you already got one. Can you imagine us letting a JJ or a quote unquote apostle or a black Jesus minister or a Tazari Whack or a Judah Natural or what's some of the name of these other misfits? Could you imagine us letting it seem that they got us scared? No, boy, you about to get this work the old school way, right in front of everybody. You dig? And once you get that work, we right back to teaching. That's it. That's it. We just the wrong ones to think you gonna play ball with us and we ain't gonna play ball back. That's it. That's it. So yeah, we salute, and shout out to my emails and the older mothers. And I understand what y'all saying. Trust me. I understand what you're saying, but your son. You know your sons. You feel me? We outside. And I'm never standing down. Somebody call me out, boy. I'm game. What's up? Let's get this cracking. You feel me? It's almost like we grew up slap boxing, but we competitors in certain ways. So it's like, nah, nigga, you're not about to have me looking like I'm scared of you. You know what I mean? And you a whole mental midget around here. You know what I mean? So y'all just be thankful y'all got sons that's going to defend y'all and what we talking about, you feel me, to the death. I don't care what nobody got to say. You feel me? I don't care what nobody got to say. Man, look, we together, we a family. So whoever got a problem with anybody over here already got a problem with me. Period. Because if they was real, they'd be over here with us. We the only ones talking about the Creator in this era. You know what I mean? We talking about the Creator. We talking about love, light, balance. You know what I mean? And that's it. You did. But you not about to think you done punk somebody, boy. I'm game. What's up? Oh, okay. Okay. See, people don't like when we match energy back. And match that right on back, boy. What's up? What you talking about? You dig? And then you get intellectually whooped real quick. It's just, this stuff's easy. Yeah. So I love all y'all. Indeed, in the truth, man. Y'all continue to pray for us as we continue to pray for y'all. Pray for yourselves too. You know what I mean? The Creator is marvelous, man. The Creator is marvelous, glorious. You feel me? And we're going to see greater wonders than all of this. And I always remember this too, y'all, when you read Owaski. Y'all know there's a faction of faith that's called the warrior faithists. Yeah. I'm cut from that cloth right there. Yeah. Look, every time. That's like me seeing one of my brothers or sisters or even our elders out in public, and somebody think they about to press y'all. Look, listen to me. It's gonna go up in that day. It ain't going down. It's going up, and it's stuck. I ain't got no problem with it. That's just what it is. It's been like that my whole life. Whatever. Yeah, we defend y'all too. Yep. I don't eat my watch out. I'm gonna slide this nigga. Bow. Hey, you know, we'll raise them up later. Hey, bro, hey, I had to realign your jaw when you talking bad to EMOP, man. You know what I mean? Please forgive me. You know what I mean? Let's, start building. You know what I mean? But boy, if you got to get your jaw realigned because you think you about to press one of our elders, then you got nothing coming. You know what I mean? That's just what it is, man. We've always been like that. My childhood partner's in the chat right now. Dunn Maker, Sean Dunn. He tell you, we always been like that. Always. You know what I mean? Always. Like, no problem. Hey, Dunn, you remember, hey, man, you remember that one, man, it was the 4th of July, man, back in, like, I want to say around 2002. Me, you, and Cuz was, we was out kicking it like a hotel party and all that. And some goofy ass guy, look, you had just got fly, boy. You was coordinated, boy, from the head to the soles of your feet, bro. And some goofy ass cat spilled some what was he drinking that? Hypnotic. You remember the Incredible Hulk, the Hennessy and Hypnotic, that turned into a green. Nigga spilled that on Dunn Mega Coke. Man, bro, listen to me. Man, me and Cuz had to keep Dunn up off this cat. Like, bro, come on, man. It's all good. You feel me? So I'm just saying, it's like we've always been like that. Like, if you looking for a problem, you already got it. We'd rather be peaceful. It's all good. We'd rather, talk about peace, love, righteousness, healing, good works, you know what I mean? Progression, salvation, resurrection, and all that. Hey, I'm telling y'all, you can't make this stuff up. You know what I mean? Now, I done known Dunn. Listen to me. My old dude and his granddaddy was close. They stayed 2 doors down from us. The Dunns in them. He remember that? That's what I'm saying. It's like we always, man, look, listen to me. We always been on go mode. Go mode. What you mean? But our intentions are pure. We ain't never like, we not bullying nobody. We bully the bullies. If you think you're going to get one off, you got something coming. Other than that, we just here to have a good time. And it's like that with all y'all. You know what I mean? We all get together and, you know what I mean? But if something goes sideways, who you think about to be on the front line? Just watch out. We got this. Watch out. We got this. You feel me? So feel good, man. You got brothers in your corner, brothers and sisters in your corner is going to take it there for you. You feel me? So I'm about here, y'all. All praises to the ever-present creator, the all in all, the always was, is, and ever shall be. You understand? The mighty and great spirit, the mighty and great I am. You feel me? Hey, man, use this day to get on out there and do a marvelous work for somebody, man. YAH'S is marvelous. In the words of my brother Cosmo and Kyle, breathe in and let the light in, baby. Much love, honor, and respect. Shout out to the haters, job jackers, and naysayers. Yeah. We love y'all too. And never forget it's CGG, baby. Creator gang. You bring them, we raise them. Until the next time, family. Love and light. I'm about here. Shalom.